the economy growing at a solid clip. Put simply, I would argue the Biden economic plan is working.
That was President Biden on Friday, touting the strikingly good news on the economy. It's a message I think we're likely to hear from the president during his State of the Union address on Tuesday, where as NBC News reports, he's expected to illustrate how 2 years of hard-nosed legislating have helped realize key promises he made to voters, especially on the economy. Friday's jobs report shattered expectations, adding more than twice as many jobs as expected, with the lowest unemployment rate since 1969. Inflation remains high, but has fallen for 6 straight months. And gas prices, well, they are well below last year's record high. But polling shows that 61% of Americans disapprove of President Biden's handling of the economy. And then there's the looming fight over raising the debt ceiling, which Republicans are still threatening to hold hostage, unless Democrats agree to their unspecified spending cuts. Joining me now is Jared Bernstein, member of the White House Council of Economic Advisors. Welcome, Jared. It's good to see you. Okay, I just ticked through some of the positive economic developments for the country, and particularly the president. But there are many people who are still struggling to pay their bills because wages are stagnant. So how will the president address the good and the not so good economic news?
Well, I think he's going to do precisely what you just laid out very nicely, Simone, by talking about how his economic plan has been so effective at delivering one of the strongest job markets in our history. We have, yes, the 3.4% unemployment rate you mentioned, but let's get under the hood a bit. If we look at the black unemployment rate, 5.4%, that's the second lowest rate on record going back all the way to 1972. For Hispanics, 4.5%, also an historically low rate. Over 12 million jobs since the president took office, and 800,000 of those jobs are in the very important manufacturing sector. It's not just one sector. It's not just one state. It's urban. It's rural. It's reaching people at the bottom of the pay scale in real ways. And by the way, you mentioned real wages. Actually, real wages have been going up for the past 6 months as inflation, as you mentioned, has been slowing down. So more work to do, not out of the woods. That's certainly the message, but moving in the right direction.
So, Jared, I feel like you just gave us one of the paragraphs from the president's State of the Union address for Tuesday. It sounds, is he going to deliver this message that the economy is in better shape than when he took over from Trump, and laying out some of those specifics that you just did there? And I would also wonder, what then is his hope for the future? Because a lot of this economic progress, yes, this is historic economic progress, but what happens over the next 6 to 12 months?
Well, that's exactly right. This is not by any means strictly a look back. And in fact, our intention, you mentioned the legislative wins of 21 and 22. This is a president who really believes in implementation. That may not sound like the most exciting word, but it's huge for him. Remember, he was the implementer in chief. I worked for him back then when he was the vice president helping to implement the Recovery Act. And his message then was, it's not enough to pass legislation, as hard as that is, as heavy a lift as that is in partisan Washington. You have to deliver for the American people. Last week, the president was in Baltimore, Philadelphia, and New York, in every case, showing the kinds of bipartisan infrastructure law investments that are being made in some of our key infrastructure, water systems, tunnels, bridges. And he's going to talk about how 2023 is a year of implementing the Inflation Reduction Act, the CHIPS Act, the bipartisan infrastructure law, standing up domestic manufacturing industries in chip production and clean energy, and reversing decades of disinvestment in our public goods.
We will be watching for what the president says on this on Tuesday, Jared. I will have my highlighter out. I want to ask you about the debt ceiling, because these negotiations, the White House has said it is not negotiating on the debt ceiling, but we do expect negotiations on spending. President Biden said that he would negotiate with Speaker McCarthy once they both presented their budgets. We don't have time to play the sound here, I don't think, but Ron Klain, outgoing White House Chief of Staff, told my colleague Lawrence just last week that they want to see, the White House would like to see the budget from Speaker McCarthy. When do you think we'll see everybody's budgets? The White House's budget, McCarthy's budget?
Oh, I can tell you.
I
think one of the problems, we don't have a great answer from Republicans on that, but I can tell you on our side, March 9th. So that's definitive, and that's a budget that's going to once again lower the deficit and fully more than pay for the president's initiatives by implementing fair taxation and by saving in the area of prescription drugs and health coverage. So I think the key thing is there.
What about the cuts? We are going. President's budget?
So we are going to continue to build on our savings when it comes to prescription drugs, when it comes to insulin, when it comes to Medicare, when it comes to implementing real savings for seniors. You know, the fact that over here we pay 4 to 6 times for a prescription drug that they pay in other countries, that's one of the real stressors on our budgets, and it's not okay with this president. But look, Simone, the key is we're getting down to specifics. We need to hear those specifics from the other side. So far, we've heard them talking about cutting Social Security, Medicare, military. That's not something this president will sign off on.
All right, noted from the White House. We are waiting with bated breath to hear from Speaker McCarthy about specifics. Jared Bernstein, appreciate you coming. Please come back very soon. Thanks so much.
My pleasure.